Welcome everybody to Tectonic Takes. My name is Favi and Will, and bienvenido a Tectonic Takes. I'm here with my special co-host, Will. What's up, man? How you doing today?
Dude, what's up? I guess we decided to match today with the black shirts. I just noticed that. But yeah, dude, it's great. So I'm ready to do this podcast. Let's get it.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to go over the game versus DC United and give a little preview of the next game, Real Salt Lake. So if you're listening, please stay tuned and go ahead and listen to all the analysis. We just need a little bit of blue, right, Will? We need a little bit of blue to get started.
Right.
But if you don't know, I'm calling Will from Japan. Will's back home in San Jose, California. Will, how was it today? How was the feeling around the Quakes this weekend back home?
Ooh, man. Well, today was actually a pretty warm day, so it was pretty nice. But as far as that Saturday night match, I mean, the place was buzzing, man. It was electric. I mean, just imagine if the stadium was full of people, man. I think the place would have gone insane for all the goals that are happening. But yeah, it was a great atmosphere as always. But yeah, man, I can't wait till it gets even more people in there.
Yeah, and I haven't seen buzz around this team like this before. This is something brand new. I mean, we've been just recently following the team religiously as podcasters and as content creators for about a year now. And last year, the MLS's back tournament was nice because as a fan, I saw normal people kind of getting into it because it was one of the only things that was on television. But now this is something where it's a lot of things are on television and people are wanting to watch the Quakes. And I was watching on ESPN Plus here in Japan. And the funniest thing is ESPN Plus usually does the home games with the home broadcast. So I was hoping to hear, Dangerfield, Slayton and Passarelli, but they actually were doing the Sharks post game instead of the Quakes game. And I was like, there's no way they're doing this thing. Like, this is the Quakes, right? I mean, there's hype around this team. There's no way they're doing this. And we are constantly still hindered by the old fat cats up in, Comcast not wanting to play our game and not wanting to do any sort of pregame on the television side. I know Ted Ramey works really hard on the KNBR radio side and other podcasts and other people, content creators. We do a great job trying to push this team, and it's finally reaping the benefits of that. But it's just annoying. I had to listen to the DC United broadcast the whole game, so it was just something that was a little frustrating. It was nice to see the other side of things, but they were more disappointed at their team more than happy for our team. But Will, were you listening to Ted Ramey at the game? How did you listen to the game?
No, I took it in normally. I do try to sometimes tune into Ted and Joe. But honestly, how that game started so quickly, I didn't really have time. Next thing you know, things are popping off the first minute of the game. Chofis, scores a goal, and this place is, it's electric. And then soon enough, it's the Cade show, and Cade is just popping off, running around the field, long balls overhead, trying to chase the ball, and the crowd is just. Every time he was getting a long ball, the crowd was just anticipating something magical happening. And so it was so hard not to just pay attention to what was going on. So it was great.
Yeah. And just watching the game as a fan, I was like, I've never seen the Quakes play like this. And I know DC United was very depleted. They had 11 people missing. They only sent 15 people over from DC, and they only could use 4 subs and 1 goalie. So they didn't even have a full sub rotation because now in MLS this year you can do 5 subs, and that's evident. Matias Almeida is always using them. That's great because you see players that get on the pitch that usually don't. But quick thoughts about the game. Will, for all the people that don't know, you actually do have credentials to watch the game from above and to actually tweet about the game. So if you guys aren't following Will, what's your Twitter handle so everybody can follow you real quick?
Yeah, so it's just BP_Schneider. And then also it's probably on our Tectonic Takes as well. It's probably linked on there as well. So you can find me. I'm hoping to be there at pretty much every single home match as best I can, depending on how everything goes with scheduling and all that. But yeah, I mean, I'll be there. If you guys want, if I'm still at the same spot outside the press box, please, we can stop by, say hello. I would definitely like to chat with some fans as well.
Yeah, and once the regulations open up a little bit, I know my sister and her husband are going to be at the next games, the Cascadia games at home, so that should be a lot of fun too. And we get our first test. I mean, when Seattle comes into town, that's going to be the matchup. That's going to be the game. This RSL game, yeah, I think it's going to be a good game this Friday night. I think it's going to be a fun game, but I really don't think RSL's contenders. I think they're more of a pretenders type of side. And a lot of people would say that about us, but we have that factor, right? We have that X factor, and that's Cade Cowell. And the whole world knows now this whole idea of Cade Cowell is a hidden gem. He should have been on the U.S. men's national team youth squad. It's in your face now. He should have been there. There's no doubt about it. He's the best, young striker this country has, and possibly Mexico has too. And we were on the press conference with Cade Cowell, and he was talking about how he'll answer the call, whoever calls him. So maybe just maybe Mexico gets to see how he, if he wants to play for them. But I still think he's going to go to USA. I think he's going to be fighting for that starting spot with Giassi Sardes and Josie Altidore. He still needs to head the ball. I haven't seen him head the ball confidently. And Matias Almeida referenced that he did that. He doesn't have a complete header, I guess head game, you would say, but sounds kind of weird. But basically, this guy's a superstar, and I don't remember the last time someone won MLS Player of the Week without winning Man of the Match. So it's evident that the Quakes aren't giving him Man of the Match for a reason. Will, what were your thoughts on Cade Cowell? How'd you feel him? I mean, you saw him in person, right? So how'd you feel watching him play?
And he's just special right now. Every Quakes fan should just be paying attention to what he's doing on the field. And it's evident what the Quakes fans were every time he was getting a long ball to him, just making his runs, quickness, the physicality, and what we wanted from last season was just finishing. And, right now he is finally finishing, or now he's, setting people up because he's creating so much space for himself. That first minute, he just got a nice little touch to himself and created open space just because of speed. And the next thing you know, passes it off to Chofis, and Chofis just puts in a great shot. And I mean, that's all it took. It wasn't anything crazy. It was just literally just pure speed. And that's what he has.
Yeah, and I'm actually the most impressed. Yeah, his breakaway goal was nice, and that's just sheer power. But I'm actually very impressed with the second assist that he had. That little chip kind of cross that just landed in a position where anybody would have touched it and it would have went in. That's a beautiful ball. And from our starting striker, geez, what's this guy's ceiling? And I think we're not going to get to see that ceiling eventually here in San Jose. I honestly feel if he has at least two more, player of the week performances, we're not going to see him in the black and blue next year, or even summer transfer window, right? If he has this next week another one, and then the next week another one, who knows? Maybe a premier club or a big Spanish club offers the Quakes $15 million, and I don't think the Quakes will say no to that. Will, what do you feel Cade Cowell's ceiling is, and do you think he ends with us?
Like you said, right now how he's playing, I would be shocked if he finished, the season. Right. Or at least I'm hoping he finished the season for sure. Let's take this, like you said, this might be Wando's last thing, and we got, the up and coming star of Cade Cowell, and if we get a whole season out of that, who knows where this team really could go.
Right.
But like you said, dude, if he keeps getting, these crazy games, who knows? And like you said, $15 million for Quakes, that's a lot of money.
Right. And he's the assist leader right now in the league, and he has 2 goals, and he starts at striker. So this is insane. I'm trying to tell all my non-Quake friends, like, hey, if you're gonna watch the Quakes, and if you like, because a lot of my friends do like the U.S. men's national team, it's just they don't like MLS, and this is probably a lot of you guys. This is the same feeling. I always tell them, watch this guy. This kid is magical. This kid is 17 years old. He's extremely humble. I didn't realize he was a kid until he was on the press conference, and he was like a kid, right? So that was something that was just beyond me. I was so impressed by this kid's humbleness, his attitude, and he is the next level type of player. If Barcelona comes with 15 million and they only ask for 60 or 70%, when they the transfer, so the Quakes always get 30% depending on where he moves and things like that. and they say, hey, we'll give you 2 prospects as well that play for the Barcelona Beast squad. I mean, I don't think there's a way that the Quakes say no to that. And we might see something like that if he keeps putting these performances in. But before we go any forward, Will, I actually want to thank all of our Patreon supporters. Thank you guys. We have something to announce that's going to be awesome very soon. We're going to do something to give back to the community a little bit, and we might have some players on board with that too. So we are very excited that our merch is finally coming. It's going to be something special. And if you want to sign up to our Patreon, the links are in below. Really, all that money is going to go to this kind of ordeal that we're kind of orchestrating, but it'll be a lot of fun, guys. Please, if you want to subscribe to our Patreon, it's in the links below. And I want to thank all of you guys for representing us. And I mean, being a part of our family, it's awesome. I mean, who would have thought we would have been here, right? So thank you so much. But who else stood out against DC United? Will, who else stood out to you during the game?
I mean, obviously with 2 goals and assists. I mean, Jackson Ewell. I mean, it was clear as day. And this is a game that we wanted to see from Jackson. I mean, we usually don't see him score too much, and have a game where he gets 2 goals is amazing. And then, man, that volley that he had, dude, it was insane. It was insane to watch. Like, from distance, just to see him just put like some crazy zip on that ball and for it to just go past. I mean, that place erupted. I'm telling you, man. Full fans were there. That place. I mean, as a media person, we try not to be. We're not supposed to go too crazy and start cheering and all that. But I've been saying a lot of wows. Like, I haven't been going crazy. My big word is just wow. When I see Cade do something, I just go, wow, okay, well, nice, and then start tweeting. Like, that's how it's kind of been right now. It's just been like, wow, that goal from Jackson, that was like awesome. But like, I got to keep my composure. But yeah, Jackson had a great game. But I think like a dark horse game for Quakes fan is Tanner Beeson, guys. Like, he played a solid game, and Alanis coming off late. I think it might have been the same knee as he had issues last season, I think. But yeah, I mean, Tanner Beeson, a solid game. Yeah, DC had chances. I mean, look, they scored a goal on a set piece, but that's just set pieces in general. The Quakes aren't the best, so you can't fault Tanner on that. But overall, he played a solid game. A lot of sliding clearances. He had a little fluky assist to that Jackson banger of a goal, but he got an assist. Assist is assist. So, I mean, he had a great game, and I think people need to pay attention to Tanner Beeson more after having a game like that.
Yeah, I mean, he slotted in, and we didn't feel like we were missing Alanis, and we did a great job on the defensive side, and that Flo probably did a great job too, talking to him the whole game. This is one of Flo's better games. I want to point that out. Flo had a phenomenal game, and just that energy coming from your back line, or from I would say your leader of that back line today, or versus DC United, to have that much energy to save a goal off the line is insane. I mean, you want that. Because that thrives throughout your team. So definitely, I like what I saw out of Flo. I went ahead and I sent him a message afterwards. I was like, yo, that was a solid game. So I felt the passion too. And I thought, man, this guy is playing with his heart on his sleeve. And I love that about him. I also feel like Eric Remedi, my God, Eric Remedi is playing like one of the best midfielders in the league. I mean, he's number 3 in tackles 1 right now. So we didn't miss a beat with Yudson gone. And maybe the first game, yeah, okay, we missed a beat, but it took a while for everybody to get, out of their preseason rust, and we almost got a point out of that game. So imagine if we were sitting with 7 points first at the top of the division, looking at this team, but second's not too bad. We would have qualified for US Open Cup if it counted, but since they canceled the US Open Cup, unfortunately, we're not in the US Open Cup anymore. But I also thought Cristian Espinoza should be involved more, but Cade Cowell has taken the weight off of his shoulders completely. I mean, Cristian Espinoza is allowed to. He almost had that goal, and then it was poked away by the defender at the last second. But I feel like he's the most unlucky player this year. I mean, depending on how you look at things, he almost had a goal versus FC Dallas, and he almost had a goal here. So, and then he had a penalty miss. So it's just like, come on, like, where's Cristian Espinoza? But it's okay, because we have Cade Cowell coming all of a sudden. But I thought overall great game. I just want to point out those players. I thought they did phenomenal. Chofis Lopez is looking like a class player, and I want to go a little more in depth about him. So, Will, what did you think of Chofis Lopez?
Well, I mean, I think it was just a weight off his shoulders, honestly. Yep. I mean, and for every Quakes fan, like everyone was talking about, we talked to Ted, we did so many season previews before the season. Yeah. Like, I don't even know how many to do. I feel like it was like more than 10. But but everyone was wondering about, all right, Chofis, this is our big signing. This is our offensive signing player, and we got to see what he can do. And, you know, I think, like you said, the weight off the shoulders for him. He scores that, amazing goal, tucks it away, and then he goes and hugs Almeida, like, you know, like, because he's grateful for what Almeida has done. I mean, it was clear, it's clear as day as that. And that's why when, we shouldn't have gotten all worried about him doing that little kick thing early in the season, because Almeida knows what kind of player he is. That's why Almeida was calm and collected about it, seeing when he talked about that incident with Chofis. Yeah. So he knows what player. Okay, so now it's like, all right, now it's, can he do it again? And can he be consistent? That's all we want from all our players. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a great start, and it's amazing that, that's what it is, and we just got to see him keep doing it.
Yeah. And the day before the DC United game, we saw Vako actually hit left curler in the K-League for Hyundai Tigers, I believe, and or Usain Tigers, and it was like, oh man, having Vako back, all of us thought, dang, like I've never seen him use his left foot like that, and literally the same game right after, Chofis Lopez uses his left to do this, almost the same exact goal, something that we never saw out of Vako when he was in black and blue. But yeah, I mean, Chofis Lopez, a lot of the comments that I saw, because I was on the interwebs looking around what Chivas fans are thinking, or what they're thinking of Chofis Lopez, and a lot of the people think that he looks skinnier. I mean, he looks fit compared to what he did in Guadalajara. So I think that has a lot to do with it. And he was playing actually not so far ahead in the 10 role. He was actually playing farther back, closer to Remedi and Jackson. And I think this is due to the fact that DC United was going ahead and using kind of this like man mark type of system as well. It worked. So they connected with Cade Cowell. I love that chemistry there. I want to see it grow more. But Chofis Lopez, a lot of guys slept on this guy. I mean, a lot of MLS people slept on Chofis Lopez, and a lot of people slept on San Jose. And I don't think that we're pretenders this year. I really, truly, like I said in my season preview, I truly think we're contenders, and I think we're going to be in the 3-4 range. I think our midfield, we're not talking about hot takes. I said we had the best midfield on paper in MLS, and that might be true all of a sudden, right? Because Cade Cowell can be a part of your midfield if you want to talk about when he comes in as a sub, or when a subs come in, he goes to the left side or the right side. And I'm very confident in this San Jose Earthquakes team. And imagine we have a DP slot open. I mean, what are we going to do with that DP slot, right? So I'm just completely excited about this team. I've never been this excited for this team. I've never been this optimistic for this team. I'm usually an optimist, but this is something else. This is something magical. Will, what do you feel like the outlook of this team is now? Do you want to change your season preview?
Well, no, I mean, I do think my season preview was that these are contenders, but where are they going to land and how is, we have to watch and see. I do really think that, if their system is firing on all cylinders, I think we can beat any team in MLS, period.
Right.
It's all, I mean, if it's working, then of course we're going to win games. I feel like that I think the only issue is just staying consistent on that defensive side of the ball and not get too spread out where we're looking like we don't play defense and we're giving away these breakaway goals. Yeah. Just like we did against the Dynamo. So that's the only issue I have with this team, is that those goals are going to happen and we're going to see that, but it's how we're going to respond and how are we going to fix that, because we're going to play teams like Minnesota, who has figured us out every single time we play them, and we look like we don't even know how to play when we play Minnesota. So, a team like that. So if teams are figuring this out, how are we going to adjust? And that's something is kind of yet to see from Almeida in his system.
But teams like Minnesota that just completely have our number, usually it's due to the fact that they have great center back pairings and they have very veteran center back pairings, and they understand that once you stretch us out, there's going to create passing lanes, and as well as if you're a center back that can put the ball forward or you can dribble the ball forward, that's when we're going to get beat. And Minnesota has had Ike Opara that whole time, and Ike Opara is just a beast. I mean, he was a San Jose Earthquakes player, and he did great for us, and we all still love him, but he's a beast. I mean, the last time he played San Jose, I think he had like a hat trick almost as a center back, so it's something that is we have to watch out when they do have a good center back pairing and a veteran center back pairing and understand what type of style we play. But just going over the stats of the game, the total shots, DC United had 18 compared to our 12. They also had more possession. They had 52% compared to our 48%. They had more passes connected, 436 compared to our 405. But we did have more shots on target, 9 to their 7. I think we were very clinical in front of goal. 9 shots on targets, and we had 4 goals. So something that, and Paul Marie almost had a goal too, but that was a great save by the goalie. This game, and then Espinoza, this game could have easily been 6-1, but the goalie came up big, and then the defender on the Christian Espinoza goal, or almost goal, came up big as well. But let's talk about who you didn't like this game. I have someone in mind, but do you have anybody in mind?
Yeah, who I kind of noticed was kind of just absent really during the game was actually Carlos Fierro. Yeah, he had moments where he would make a nice pass, but I felt like most of the time he was kind of absent.
Yeah.
Just kind of pretty much most of the game. I didn't really see him do a lot compared to obviously we remember Carlos' last game because he had that great clearance. Right. So you couldn't forget him then. But yeah, this game I felt like was a little more absent. It wasn't really great presence offensively. Felt like he missed a lot of passes. But I don't think he had like a terrible game because obviously we couldn't see him look terrible. But I feel like he definitely was just kind of absent during the whole game.
Yeah, and Carlos Fierro is the player that we should watch the rest of the season, and because I loved him last year. I think he did a great job. I was starting to like him a lot more, and then his salary came out, and I was like, geez, that's a big salary for this type of player. I mean, we're talking close to $1 million, $900,000. Him and Andy Rios both are on that $900,000 price tag, and I need to see more out of these guys if they are those price tags. And I think Andy Rios, actually, I've liked Andy Rios coming in as a sub. I think he does a great job. He almost scored a banger when he came in for the FC Dallas game, but I need to see them do something. I need to see Carlos Fierro. If he's going to get those full-time minutes, he needs to do something. If it's a goal line save like last week, perfect. If it's good link-up play or good passes to Cade like he did last week, perfect. But I need to see more out of him with that price tag. And the same goes with Andy Rios. Andy Rios, since he has that price tag, should come on every single game. No questions asked. He should come in for Chofis, and I think that's what's happening. He's coming in for Chofis and playing that 10 role, and he's playing it not too bad. I mean, I would say he's playing it maybe not as good as Magnus Eriksson, but a little step below it, and that's okay. And I think, but just with those price tags, it's hard to say that these guys deserve those price tags, especially. But my player I want to talk about, Will, sorry for talking so long, is JT Marcinkowski. He has regressed a bit, and I don't want to say it just yet, but since we're on Tectonic Takes, I do have to say it. I think he's sleeping on the ball. Like, he thinks maybe the pace of the U.S. men's national team was a little less than MLS quality. So maybe he's just not accustomed to it. Maybe he's just a little more rusty to how fast these wingers come in, like FC Dallas wingers. I think it was O'Brien. And then today, against DC United, they almost caught him sleeping again. So this is a player that I'm a little worried about. I don't think his distribution is as good as last year. I remember he was hitting dots. I mean, nowadays it's kind of looking like Andrew Tarbell out there. No, but I want to see him connect on that long ball with someone. It's always skying over the wingers, and I don't know if it's the wingers not putting enough effort to get the ball or if it's just they don't really work on that anymore. But I'm not liking what I'm seeing from JT with his feet. I think he's a great shot stopper still. I think on that corner, he was a little bit at fault there personally. He didn't hit that ball hard enough, and then it just kind of deflected in there and it pinballed around. But I think JT is regressing a little bit. Will, how do you feel?
I mean, I feel like it's a little too soon to call it out. I mean, but if we started seeing it again, a couple of games, yeah, I think on his feet, he obviously is slipping. He's slipping. Yeah. I mean, he's messed up. It's clear as day that he's almost cost his team some goals, but I mean, he has luckily, fortunately gotten saved a couple of times, and so he's helped himself doing that. So, I mean, especially if they went in as goals, then I guess we could be really ripping into him.
Yeah.
And because this, it could change a lot of, the whole game. If they have these goals that he's potentially almost given up, it could have changed everything. But it hasn't yet, and hopefully he just figures it out and just be a little more confident. Yeah. I mean, JT is supposed to be he's supposed to be used to this by now. He needs to know that the ball is going to come to him a lot. They like to play out of the back. It's evident. This is something not new to him. He just needs to be. I feel like it's more not. He's not good with his feet. It's just him being like a little indecisive and not making a pass soon enough, or he's taking a little too long to just make a decision. So I feel like it's a little bit of that. Compared to him actually not having the quality. I think the quality's there. I think it's just his decision making is just a little lacking right now. So hopefully he can just figure that out, and and we'll be good to go.
Yeah, and if he keeps on this trajectory, I'm okay with him being a really good MLS talent goalkeeper. I think a lot of us had him pegged as a potentially European starter one day, and I'm okay with him being like a Blake, right, in Philadelphia. That's totally fine, and he can get there eventually. But maybe if he keeps this trajectory on, we got to change our potential in him, and that's something we have to do as a fan base to keep it at bay. Because we would love to keep him as a Quake. I mean, he was taught by John Bush. He was taught by all these former Quakes. David Bingham was at his time, he was okay. I mean, as a shot stopper, but something to keep an eye on for the rest of the season. A little news came out today. Will, I'm not sure if you heard about it, but Gilbert Fuentes and Casey Walls were loaned to Austin Bold, USL side. I apologize. A lot of Quakes are playing in Austin now. This is a little weird, right?
Yeah, I think we have an Austin connection somehow now.
Yeah, right. So what do you feel? What do you think about this? I mean, this is kind of out of the blue. 2 players going, so it makes me wonder a little bit: is there reinforcements coming, or is it something that these guys could get some playing time? I think Gilbert Fuentes has actually fallen out of favor with Matias Almeida, but he's so young that they don't want to just offload him just yet. But we'll see what's going on with this. I think this is a great move for the club. I think they can maybe possibly finally sign their 2nd round MLS Super Draft selection. He's always on Instagram. He's always liking Barra 74's posts. So he's still around, and he still likes the Quakes. So maybe they are finally going to sign him and loan him off to another USL side, or they're bringing him in to teach him and things like that. Will, how do you feel about this transfer?
Yeah, I mean, I think we loaned him out because we don't see them playing this year.
Yeah.
With the squad. So obviously, it's good that they're going to go get some playing time.
Definitely.
Hopefully, you get like every loan, you hope they come out back better players. And just, we'll see how they do. And we just hope for the best. And yeah, I think we do really have a connection with Austin somehow now. Like, I mean, I guess somehow we're really good friends with Austin because we've given all these players, and I might not stop. Who knows?
Well, they say Austin's the Bay Area of Texas. So, I mean, and so,
yes, so
we have a cultural and I guess the soccer connection now. So it's exciting stuff, to be honest. I mean, I was a little worried when Reno went under. I can't believe that a USL side went under. I understand it's COVID, but man, you got to keep that open, because who knows? Maybe the USL is the league that has promotion relegation, and they get a lot of viewers too. So I just can't believe that we lost Reno going under. But I was worried, because I was worried about those players not having a training ground to kind of get their feet wet and to really try to see what type of players they are. And I'm very ecstatic that players like Gilbert Fuentes and Tommy Williamson and Casey Walls get that opportunity to still do that. Even if it's not in our system, that's okay, because they're really young players. And Tommy Williamson actually scored a goal on his first game, and he scored a free kick goal. So there's definitely some quality there in Tommy Williamson. And these guys too, Gilbert Fuentes and Casey Walls, if we're loaning them out, and other teams won. So, but on the transfer side of things, I still don't know how it affects us. We have, I guess, 3 open spots now. I'm not sure if they counted as senior roster spots. So that's a little part where I'm worried. I don't think so. I think they counted as a youth roster spot. So maybe this is going to be a signing of the 2nd round super draft pick for us. But I still think that we are going to get some reinforcements in the summer. And I think this move shows that possibly they think this is a win now situation if this opens up another roster spot for us to bring in another reinforcement. And exciting stuff. Yeah. All right. So going on to our game preview for the next game, RSL is a team that's a little fiery right now. I mean, they have, I believe, 6 points in the Western Conference, and this is like a second. We're in second place, right, versus a third or fourth place team, and this is on a Friday night. I know MLS people are going to be watching this game because they're excited to see Cade Cowell. What do you think the outlook is for this game, Will, and what do you think it's going to be for us?
I'm thinking. I mean, I'm gonna be on the optimistic side. Let's go with a 2-1 victory for the Quakes. I mean, I'm still yet to feel comfortable like calling out a clean sheet, just with how we obviously haven't done it yet, and just because I feel like sometimes like we really we have moments in our defense during the game where we just give up a goal. So right. I feel like that's gonna for sure happen, and I just feel like Cade is. It's too hot right now to call it not going to be, like right now, right. We're a hot team. Yes. We're scoring a lot of goals. The last 2 games, I should say, we're scoring a lot of goals. So, 8 goals in 3 games, so we're scoring goals and that's going to happen. So I believe that we're going to get Cade going again. And we're going to, we're going to get the rest of the team's confident. And I think we're going to see another confident Earthquakes team and we're going to see it rolling and we're going to get another victory and get another 3 points.
Yeah, and the Quakes historically haven't played well at Rio Tinto, but again, I think this is a Quakes team that we've never seen before. And this is a Quakes team that, for some reason, didn't bring in a striker, right? And I always said there has to be a reason why they haven't brought in a striker. And I said, I think Cade Cowell's going to start at the 9. And look, wow, this is where we're at. Cade Cowell starting. He's the league leader in assists, and he has 2 goals. And who knows, maybe he's the league leader in assists and goals. If that's the case, when the summer transfer window opens, he's not going to be here to finish the year out. I hate to say it, but we're going to get a stupid money offer from a big team, maybe like a Southampton or something like that too is going to be looking, or a Bournemouth with Daryl DK, right? So who knows what's going to happen. I think this game is going to be a spicy one. I think it's going to be fiery. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Especially since a lot of MLS teams, and it's almost like kind of like this undercover game of the week for MLS because they want to see if Cade Cowell can keep this up. I see the Quakes winning. I'm going to be a little optimistic here. 3-0. I think we get that clean sheet. I think not Emi Ochoa. I'm sorry. The other Ochoa doesn't have a good game. I think Cade Cowell wreaks havoc against their center backs. But Will, actually, let's talk about this. If any of you guys were watching the pregame that we had the week before versus DC United, what did I say the goals were going to be and who are they going to be scored by? So I was like, we're going to see a Chofis Lopez goal. We're going to see a Cade Cowell goal, and we're going to see a Jackson Ewell banger. I just want to, toot my own horn right there. That's exactly what happened going into the half. And I kept on calling Will after every goal that I would see in Japan, but Will already saw it 2 minutes earlier or something like that. So it was definitely something fun. I was just screaming in the middle of Japan, go Quakes, because it was crazy. It was a great feeling. But yeah, I think this is going to be a dominant game from the Quakes, and this is the game where I truly think people are going to be like, oh wow, these guys may be contenders, not pretenders, and it might show Real Salt Lake in that pretender light. And I think a lot of MLS pundits put them at the lower level or the lower echelon of this league, and they might have just gotten a hot start. So this is something that we're looking forward to this game a lot. And next week, we're going to have a pregame show. We're actually going to have one of you guys is a fan favorite, right? A lot of people know this guy. Dom Skipper is actually going to be on our pregame show on Instagram Live for this next game. So please stay tuned for that. But that's going to wrap it up for us, Will. I mean, this was kind of a short and sweet one. Do you have any closing thoughts?
No, I mean, everyone is going to start paying attention to the Quakes soon. Hopefully they start paying attention to us now because Quakes are coming. So it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, no, definitely. And if you guys haven't subscribed, please do. Hitting that subscribe button really, really helps us out. And if you haven't gone ahead and liked this video, please do. We do have a Patreon link below. If you guys want to help support us, we have some fun things planned ahead and some very nice things planned ahead too. So we're going to do our best to try to give back to the community. And to thank all you guys. I mean, this is something that we couldn't have done without you, and we really appreciate you guys being on. We also want to thank the Beautiful Game Network and Roughneck Scarves for sponsoring this podcast and constantly sponsoring us. That's honestly the best thing in the world because we don't have to worry about that stuff. But thank you so much. We appreciate you guys. I want to close this on enjoy Cade Cowell while we can. And I really, really mean that. Because once the Mexican media finds out that he can possibly still be a Mexican or can play for the Mexican national team and they start running with that, yeah, this guy is going to get a lot of buzz. And the Mexican media is another animal compared to the American media. So this kid is going to be thrown in all the newspapers and all the forefronts if he keeps this up, and he will. I have no doubt in my mind he will. And that's it for us. All I have to say is go Quakes, right, Will?
Yep, let's go Quakes.
Thank you.